Majority Report with Sam Seder, where every day's Casual Friday. That means Monday is Casual Monday, Tuesday, Casual Tuesday, Wednesday, Casual Hump Day, Thursday, Casual Thurs, that's what we call it, and Friday, Casual Shabbat. The Majority Report with Sam Seder.
It is Friday, May 21st, 2021. My name is Sam Seder. This is the 5-time award-winning Majority Report. We are broadcasting live steps from the industrially ravaged Gowanus Canal in the heartland of America, downtown Brooklyn, USA. On the program today from the Benjamin Dixon Show, Ben Dixon will be here. Also from the Give Them an Argument show, Ben Burgess will be here. In the meantime, Israel and Hamas agree to a ceasefire. No. Meanwhile, Israel storms Al-Aqsa Mosque again. House passes increased Capitol Police funding. Squad splits on the vote. Republicans in the Senate are determined to obstruct a January 6th commission. We'll tell you why that's going to have more implications than maybe just the January 6th commission. Missouri is sued to allow for a referendum passing expansion of Medicaid. The governor wants to put the kibosh on that. And Chris Cuomo of CNN sat in on strategy sessions for Governor Andrew Cuomo's sexual harassment responses. And the AP, however, fires a reporter for years-old writings that supposedly showed pro-Palestinian bias. The Ohio vaccination rate jumps 28% after their shot lottery rollout. New York State, others probably adopt similar schemes. Department of Homeland Security ends a deal to detain immigrants at 2 notorious county jails. And lastly, the Koch Foundation funding multiple court attempts to end the eviction moratoriums in this country. Isn't that lovely? All this and more on today's Majority Report. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is Casual Friday. As you can see, I am back and I am wearing my Casual Friday outfit, which is, of course, a soft-collared shirt. Emma Vigeland is here. I'll allow her to present her own wardrobe.
It's a white shirt. It's maybe, I was kind of in a rush this morning. Shouldn't have picked the 3/4 or 3/4 sleeves or 2/3 sleeves. It's getting hot.
It's getting hot.
But we stand for a soft collar shirt, right? It's going to be a Casual Friday. Do you know what stan is?
Do I know what the word stan means?
We stan a soft collar shirt.
We stand like we support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Wow, look at that.
Yep. I'm down with the lingo that is being used. We got a lot to get to today. Here is Joe Biden, and Joe Biden had announced on Wednesday, or I should say it was reported that on Wednesday morning, he had spoken to Benjamin Netanyahu and basically said you have till end of day, our time, or maybe it was Israeli time, to work out some type of ceasefire. In other words, we want to pull the plug, which I think shows that the United States has a certain amount of influence with the Israeli government. That when the United States stands in the way of a UN resolution for a ceasefire, not necessarily because the UN has a lot of authority with the Israeli government, but if they allow it to happen, then they are putting their prestige on the line, and therefore Israel has to react. And clearly what Israel wanted to do was, we want to pound Palestinians in Gaza take out their ability maybe for electricity. We want to put them on a diet, as they say. They've said in the past. We want to mow the lawn, as they have said in the past. And ostensibly, it was to diminish Hamas's military capacity. Who knows exactly what it was? But the United States did not exert pressure until, we had hundreds of civilians killed. And but that pressure has been applied, and there was a response, though, limited as it were. Here is Biden in the White House yesterday talking about the ceasefire.
I also appreciate the contributions of other parties in the region who've been engaged in working toward the end of hostilities. These hostilities have resulted in the tragic deaths of so many civilians, including children. And I send my sincere condolences to all the families, Israeli and Palestinian, who have lost loved ones, and my hope for a full recovery for the wounded. The United States committed to working with the United Nations, and we remain committed to working with the United Nations and other international stakeholders to provide rapid humanitarian assistance and to marshal international support for the people of Gaza and the Gaza reconstruction efforts. We will do this in full partnership with the Palestinian Authority, not Hamas, Authority, in a manner that does not permit Hamas to simply restock its military arsenal. I believe the Palestinians and Israelis equally deserve to live safely and securely and to enjoy equal measures of freedom, prosperity, and democracy. My administration will continue our quiet and relentless diplomacy toward that end. I believe we have a genuine opportunity to make progress, and I'm committed to working for it. And I want to thank you all, and may God bless you all, and pray that this continues. Thank you so much.
The end there, he's addressing, I think, the reports that the Biden administration was hoping to disengage from that, and, they're going to continue their quiet diplomacy. In other words, the reason why you haven't heard about this diplomacy or any type of pressure exerted on Israel because we've been keeping it quiet.
Yeah. I returned to that 2001 quote from Joe Biden where he says that he believes that all differences between Israel and the United States should be worked out privately. He's extended that seemingly to his presidency and has, at least for the first 11 days, allowed Israel to murder hundreds of civilians, including over 60 children, as of what we know right now. And what bothers me about that statement, one, I'm happy that he did call on put pressure on Netanyahu to agree to a ceasefire, although it seems like they're not necessarily holding up their bargain on that end, which we'll get to. But he talks as if the United States has no agency. Like as if we're watching this unfold in front of us. And that's what bothers me about the framing from Biden.
There's a couple, that's basically, there's two things. One is that we keep our leverage exist in a completely different parallel universe to the conflict. And that leverage, of course, is the billions of dollars of aid that we send in terms of, in weapons support. That exists as if it's not part of the equation. But it is part of the equation. And then you watch these images that we're about to show of IDF forces.
Something like 15 hours after the ceasefire was agreed to / put in place. You
had IDF forces storming the Al-Aqsa Mosque grounds, not the mosque itself, but the sort of, I guess what Jews would call the Temple Mount. And also there were reports of more, removals and displacements of people in the Sheikh Jarrah, the neighborhood that in East Jerusalem, which was the sort of the catalyst for this. And so you have this conflict with Hamas and Israel is siloed, and just like the Palestinians who are killed by the civilian deaths are somehow distinct from the conflict with Hamas and somehow distinct from Israel essentially attacking Palestinians in their homes in East Jerusalem and firing on people at Al-Aqsa. Here is the images of that. So they're firing rubber bullets. There are injuries and
tear gas. I believe flash bombs we're seeing.
Flashbangs, yes. I mean, so this is part of the problem. Is this sort of like attempting to divorce these into separate silos, and until there is a sort of a comprehensive view of what is happening to Palestinians in East Jerusalem, has impact on what happens in Gaza, has impact on what happens in the West Bank, and the United States sees that connection. We're just going to sideline our leverage. But
I'm sure they see that connection. It's just sort of what they're going to admit publicly. And I just want to point out, this was a provocation to say that the Palestinians then violated the ceasefire when they retaliated with rockets. We don't know. They haven't done that yet, to my knowledge, at the taping of the show. But this is out of Netanyahu's playbook. Yeah. Provoke, provoke, provoke. Hamas, Palestinians respond. Then we'll disproportionately respond, kill 10, 15, 20 times the amount of civilians on their side, and then say they're Hamas's human shields when it's the third most densely populated area in the entire world, and there is no battlefield. It's just a populated area with Palestinians that they, as you said the other day, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. So just know that this is clearly out of their playbook. And of course, it's always on the oppressed people, the Palestinians, the people fighting for justice, to be the bigger people in this instance. I mean, the burden is just unbelievable.
And this came up in our conversation when there were ERICOT a week or two ago, and that Ariel Sharon did the exact same thing that led to the second Intifada. This is it is a playbook that has been used. It's a well-worn playbook. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back with more. I'm going to talk to Ben Dixon about this and other developments happening in the news. Be right back after this. Folks, today's show sponsored in part by SunsetLakeCBD.com, SunsetLakeCBD.com. I've talked to you many times about their CBD products. Their tinctures are amazing. It helps me sleep. I have more or less almost totally off the Ambien at this point, every now and then. But the CBD has been really helpful in that regard. The salve with arnica and CBD also been very helpful to me with certain skin conditions, actually. I mean, it's supposed to be for achy muscles.
But you could use it on your knee.
I could use it on my knee? Yeah, but I don't think that's a muscle thing. But I got a knee problem. But the smokables, Matt is a big fan of the smokables. They have gummies. They have CBD-infused fudge. They have pre-rolls. They have CBD dog biscuits. Very tasty for your dogs. Moderately tasty for your human beings.
Yeah, well, you can attest.
I can attest. But all this and more. But they're also a great movement company, if you will. They $15 minimum wage. They are mostly employee-owned. They 100% organic. They practice integrated pest management. They also practice regenerative farming with help from the University of Vermont. All their business practices are great. And they also donate and support important causes. They were doing stuff up in the near Burlington area where they're from, but recently they just contributed and want to encourage everybody to contribute.